taking her out for her maiden voyage this morning. It's actually a really bright and sunny day. The only thing that's concerning is there's something rolling around in there. I'll be honest, recently I've been feeling a little bored and underwhelmed with what I've been producing, and I think it's time that I just switch it up and try some new things. I think a lot of it is that I feel like I've become a slave to the topic. I only make videos when the topic comes along as opposed to really chasing after things that I want to make. So I need to figure out how to change that. I mean, if I'm really being honest with myself, since about the end of November, I've just gotten lazy. I haven't really had the same drive that I did, and I need to figure out what that is. And I have a general sense of what's helped me gain that in the past, so I have a plan, I guess. Considering today as day 1, March 9th, I'm going to spend the next 30 days all the way up until April 7th eating nothing but things that I could pick immediately off of a tree, dig out of a ground, or slaughter from an animal. Mostly that's reducing any kind of carbohydrates, specifically sugars. Now, sugar is particularly tricky to give up because it's in everything. It's used as preservatives in meats, in many even vegetable products, and I've even found it in garlic salt. It's everywhere because it's delicious and it's very addicting, unfortunately. But that's going to be the main source of carbohydrates that I want to avoid, so nothing with sugar. And the second is bread, because bread ultimately gets processed into a sugar. And fruit, even though it is a fructose, which is a natural sugar, I still like to limit it because, again, the biggest thing that I find affects my mental state is blood sugar. So the more sugar I eat, the more depressed I feel. And we're trying to eliminate that depression. Now, the first 3 to 5 days are going to be the worst because over Christmas I've been eating basically like a big baby and consuming whatever I want. And so I'm going to have a massive drop in my blood sugar, and I'm going to feel these cravings for ice cream and all this stuff. But usually about 2 weeks into it, you forget about all that and it just becomes a longevity game, and you can start to enjoy the effects. Now, you may recognize this as being the Paleolithic diet, which I do enjoy and I respect, and I use it as a jumping off point for it, mostly because it's got a very definitive set of rules that I understand and for the most part morally subscribe to. However, right now I'm just going to be very strict for the sake of rules, but I'm thinking at 2 weeks I'm going to reintroduce dairy, because as of right now I'm not consuming any dairy. I just completely lost my train of thought. Now, the reason I'm talking about this on camera in one of these videos is because, 1, it is easy content, but 2, also, I know that if I say things publicly, I have to follow through with it because that's just how my personality works, and I don't like to be embarrassed in that sort of way. But the other reason is because I've never properly talked about or documented what I'm doing in the day-to-day effects. You can see a more dramatic effect in my whole project as I lost weight, but there are other factors involved with that. But the stepping stone was, again, doing a 30-day of what I call Whole30, or what many call Whole30. So I'm interested to see what the effects are as it changes my mental state, as I try to up my exercise routines, and see the effects. The biggest thing that's probably going to happen immediately over the next few days is I'm going to lose inflammation in my face. So I'll look like I've lost a bunch of weight for the first week, but really it's inflammation, it's not actually fat. And then after about a week and a half, I think the weather cooperates and I can maintain a good exercise schedule, then I'll start to see some results. But what I'm looking forward to more than any of the physical aspects is the mental aspect, because like I said, I just feel like I've hit a slump, and I think a lot of that is because starting in November, I stopped doing any kind of intermittent fasting or focusing on nutrition or focusing on low sugar, low carb, and just started eating whatever I wanted. And since then, I've just felt my depression kind of bottom out, and with the winter, that doesn't help. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I'm going to turn some stuff around and just see what happens. And I'm also going to open the door to a lot of my topics and try doing some new things with the videos. Maybe not necessarily these, but I have some topics that I've wanted to do, and I've had many people say that I shouldn't do them, but you know what, I'm going to try to figure out how to tackle it. So, alright,